going forward for the emergencies, like those doors. I mean, literally, there's no choice. You just got to do what the state. It just has to be. And fun thing about it is, even that they're not stamped. Even if they were stamped, we'd be all right. But they're not stamped, and they're just not the proper doors. And so every year, if we can figure out a way to have funds just that keeps rolling into the account that is made available for emergencies and whatever, and because we really can continue to improve that facility. That to me is the key, is not let it deteriorate to where, like the boiler. Mm-hmm. His boiler, we all probably should have been replaced and then put off, and because as he probably didn't share with you, but we have 10 people on the waiting list for the assisted living now. And so that's positive. I mean, those are the kind of things that you want to hear. And and the fact of cash flow, and so if we can just keep improving, I don't know what healthcare might be one of the best things for our county, because we're getting people from other counties that are, I mean, we look for economic development. It's kind of a backdoor economic development, but it really is economic development. It's creating jobs and cash flow and all of that. So,
Could see the salaries, the payroll is about $60,000 every 2 weeks. It's a big deal. So there's always going, on a campus that size, there's always going to be something, you know, like boiler number 2. They're probably the same age, just saying. And so, you know, there's going to be things. And
First of it is you have a boiler go down, and when it's your heat,
well, we'd have to evacuate.
you'd evacuate.
You'd have to find you'd send them all out somewhere else. You'd have to.
Or buy a lot of blankets.
Well, let's not even go down there.
Go to Salem Lutheran and get their quilts. Okay.
so anyway, we're very positive on the way things are going. It's a hassle regularly, but
swap sides. Well, let's try to get Brock to take a look at that water problem, and then work on those extra bids for the boiler.
Mm-hmm.
but it is so hard to even get one.
I know, and if it's impossible, it's impossible. Yeah, all
Who
we
does
need to do,
who does this building?
mostly Heartland.
I don't. You'd have to talk to Shelley whether that's.
I mean,
it's more maintenance right now.
Yeah.
Not-
Replacing a new boiler. He
we'd
wouldn't
have to
tackle
do
something.
something.
Well,
But
I
see,
know they
they
did
were-
at the hospital. They did one
we did.
boiler at the hospital.
You know, they are the ones that did that on-demand water heater that didn't work, and then they'd added another one, and it still didn't. And see, neither one of those were working, and they were out of warranty. Hal Griffin called the company, and they sent the parts, even though it was out of warranty, and he fixed one of them. But it's just not plumbed in correctly to do what. So there's just a lot of that stuff that needs out of there, and
Well, at least you've got one
yes.
on the hook.
Yes.
well, and I'm sure we'll get a hold of Brian and he can get somebody, you know, out of Hayes or somewhere. Which obviously we get a bid, it'll probably be a high bid, but at least it's a bid.
Yes, at least it
Yeah.
shows good faith that we're
Yeah,
trying to.
yeah.
That can't be that big of a boiler, can it? To provide
No.
water for the kitchen. It's basically a kitchen, correct?
Well,
all the
Patient rooms is where
It's-
we're getting in trouble.
and it's
Oh, they're gonna have hot
and
water in
They
there.
got to it's got to be a certain temp throughout
And-
the whole system.
and
So
laundry.
they have a circulating system.
And laundry is a big deal.
And
They've
the
got
way I
to have
understood
hot
it
water for that.
was that on one side that comes out of the boiler, those are all good. The problem is on the opposite side, on the return side, those temps are dropping below acceptable
Required.
levels.
You know, we're just on the edge, and that we don't want to be on the edge.
Yeah.
It can't be too hot, but it can't be too cold. But
Yeah. You can't just ramp up the heat going in that loop to
Yeah.
keep it hot over here.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah, if you
They've
could
got
do
this
that.
little window that they expect, so.
Couldn't put a bunch of propane burners on it.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like you guys doing a great job, and we appreciate your efforts.
Any questions, Willie?
No, sir.
Rod?
No,
Miss Leslie?
What?
Any questions?
No, I think what you guys are asking is there any way within appropriation to have a capital improvement fund?
Right.
So that is an auditor question, which we can definitely pursue, because the auditor will be here today.
Okay.
And are these,
That's what-
I call it
I
capital
think that's what you're
improvement, but
asking.
I don't think it really is. I
Capital
mean,
fund.
like this boiler, is that actually a capital
Fall under
improvement?
maintenance.
It's a fixture.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's attached to the,
Yeah.
And like this drainage issue, is that actually capital? I'm asking, I don't know. I just lump it under there because,
well,
I would think it
I
would
would
be.
think it would be.
Because you're
I mean,
going to
you're
have
improving
foundation
the-
issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to
Potential
protect the
damage to your
integrity of the
building.
Yeah.
That wouldn't come under maintenance though?
Well, either way, but it still is an improvement over what they had, is the kind of the way I look at it.
and you can see the need
Yeah.
that we've got to, because these are things that should have been addressed
Well, if we don't do it now,
decades
we're gonna
ago.
have to do it next year, or the next year, or the next year. Let's get it done right.
Well, here's the
Well,
question.
that's
Did you
what
go
I'm
ahead-
thinking on this drainage.
Did you go ahead and expend your landscaping funds, all of them?
Yes.
Because I was thinking, this could probably fall under that fund if there was any left to help with this drainage issue.
I can't imagine just burying a pipe and filling in dirt would be that terribly expensive, but
Well, and that's
Have the
true.
Commissioners come up and dig the ditch.
yeah, I ain't got nothing to do
Then
with
it'd
it.
be expensive. Because they'd
Now-
have to
now
have an
when-
ambulance there for me.
Let's say if you did get water in the building and you had to evacuate everybody, where would those funds come from?
Oh, jeez.
Running operating.
Yeah, that'd be a nightmare.
And guess what happens then?
Then your revenue
Your
drops to nothing.
income drops to zero.
Yeah.
That's what the fire happened.
And then,
You know?
then you got
Then all
every
the
inspector in
inspections
the world
and
that's
all
gonna
that to
wind
get them
up there.
back in there.
So we're saying basically something definitely has to be addressed soon.
You're gonna, yes.
Probably
'cause
before
you're
the
gonna
next
look at
rain season.
Week to 2
Well,
weeks
that's
of
my
no
thinking.
income, because they're gonna be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is burying this line on this number one project over here, I don't see that costing a lot of money, but I don't know what it's going to take on this number two, because there's quite an area there, that paved parking lot that drains towards that door. There's a cement slab there for the trash dumpster and that sidewalk next to it. All that drains to that door. This area down here where this
Crazy.
number
Well,
two is,
why would you do that as the original?
Because it was barracks. See, and they put them barracks in, and then when they added that going across,
I mean, it's terrible design.
yeah, it should have never been built that way.
There's one thing that I really have an eye for, and that's on any construction, you need to have drainage, good drainage. That's a biggie in my life. And yeah, it's just terrible.
Well, if we lived in a climate that got several inches of rain every month, we would have a real problem.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know whether we can move over into this sod here and trench in and go. Originally I'm thinking, well, and we need to find out with transit for sure, but possibly of taking out part of that pavement and then putting in a concrete, just a slope,
Yeah.
and so it'll carry it, because when it gets a ways east there, then it goes ahead and will drain east. But
Cannot be denied that
it's,
water. But in summary, what Leslie is saying is exactly my thoughts. You got a operating budget, and then you got a capital improvement fund to keep improving. To do that would be the ideal of all worlds, because, you got this much for operations, and that's all, but for
The way
capital
in which
improvement.
that appropriation is set up is that it's operation and improvement.
Yeah, it's all bunched together,
It's all under that
it
one.
is.
yeah,
Okay, I was
So
going
if
to
there was
ask.
any way that you could build a reserve
yeah.
So that if, like both boilers go,
I know.
Or anything.
Gentlemen, we need to move on.
Yeah, okay.
We've got people waiting, but thank you.
You know where we're coming from.
And, yeah, move forward with this stuff and let's see where we land.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for your time. And the auditor will be, do I need to be here then?
Well, he's sitting right behind you. I don't know if I
They're our best friend, they're our best friends.
Oh, you're Brian?
he's not very trustworthy.
yeah, I saw that, isn't that nice?
Step on up there, DJ.
Good morning.
Morning, DJ.
Morning.
Squared away, hopefully.
Well, good, then you don't need me.
You wanna hang around?
Well,
I hope I printed out the right amount.
yeah.
Terry, I think I gave you two.
You did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
I
Ryan,
guess I don't know this guy.
The individual they're talking about,
You know this, I know him.
they were traveling through,
Oh.
they're from Missouri.
Oh, okay.
now these were some documents you
Oh, those letters? Yep.
You don't get them very often.
No, I would think not.
Yep.
Especially when you get word.
Yeah.
And then I did not get an account set.
Okay.
So we're on camera, I'll tell you.
All right, man. Noxious weed department's been quite busy lately. Been a good successful year so far.
And here,
Right now I got going on is setting up for aero spraying, ground spraying for the landowners that have missed out or had large
half those
acreages.
distribute them to.
I got about 3,000 acres turned in right now.
Thanks for your.
They have till the 14th to get finished up, but I think that's gonna be pretty successful, and I'm just about closing noxious weed spraying season. I got all 2,500 miles of right-of-way covered. Got a little bit left of the state to do. Got a couple small agricultural bindweed patch jobs to do, but the noxious weed department is about to get kind of wrapped up. What I have for you this morning is I got 3 bids. I'm still trying to require a side-by-side with a bigger sprayer so I can spray more than 1 acre at a time.
Quite a discrepancy, some of these are.
Yes, and I apologize for, the Aurora Honda's bid. They are all over the place. They could not really come up with a straight answer for me, or availability is still questionable. But I wanted to have an extra bid just in case.
Do you have a bid that you're favoring?
I do, the Superior Industries. Arlen already has built all our other sprayers and equipment we have so far. I did try to get some other bids for sprayers, and I did not receive any at all, except the one.
Okay, so your Superior Industries, the total is 18,125. John Deere is looking at 30,000.
Well, that's between 2 different machines. Let me
Oh, I
explain
see.
that. I'm
I
sorry.
see. I see.
They have a Polaris Ranger and a John Deere Gator. He wanted to throw that Gator bid in, but it doesn't have the speed or the load capability to handle a 60-gallon sprayer.
Okay.
Not of a commercial size.
All right.
I really don't have any problem with the Polaris except for the V-belt drive system. They don't handle a lot of start-stop idle due to that V-belt. And I did, we can get great customer service and work on it, but it'll be a lot of maintenance. Every about 2,000 miles, we'll have to rebuild that complete transmission. That doesn't really make me feel good about that.
This Superior Industries is somebody you've dealt with before, though, and they're already,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, between the Yamaha and the Honda, they're both gear-driven, solid shaft drive. We already have 2 of the Honda four-wheelers, and I was looking for something a little bigger outside the box. Fits my budget, has all the capabilities I need.
Okay.
But bid number 1 with the Superior is the one that you're thinking on, and you have that in your budget, correct?
Yes. Well, 10,000 will come from the noxious weed special, 6,000 from my capital outlay, and for all the other parts on the sprayer will come from my commodities. I do have it.
Are you trading anything in?
No. I don't have anything extra to trade right at this time. Except for maybe selling off the old yellow 1970s Ford F-150 pickup. But that's about all I have right
Well,
now.
that ain't gonna bring you much.
No. But it still gets utilized. And then with the other two, if I get that, I will then have to take that to Superior, Nebraska to have the system put into it. So there will be mileage, labor, other things involved.
Take it where?
To Superior Industries to have because they build the sprayer system
And that is where did you say?
in Superior, Nebraska.
Oh,
So you're buying the sprayer, the 60-gallon from Superior also?
Yes. If you feel comfortable with that, Roger. If it's the only bid I can get, and they built the other three systems I do have for the ATVs, the surround packs. We've had them for 9 years. They're very high quality commercial grade. They've been really wonderful spray tanks and setups.
who would take that up to Superior yourself?
It would have to be me myself, yes.
That takes what?
About a 3.5 hour drive.
Oh, so it's not.
No, it ain't that bad.